Dear child, the angels have a special message for you, a revelation so important you can't ignore it. Right now, as you hear these words, the universe has already started a chain of events that could change everything for you. You may not see it yet, but something amazing has happened. It involves your true soulmate, someone whose journey is deeply connected to yours. Last night, your soulmate experienced something completely new. So listen closely. Type "I am ready to receive this blessing" in the comments below to affirm your readiness to embrace what's coming. A bond filled them with excitement, warmth, and love unlike any they've known. But here's the thing, what they saw as a perfect moment was just part of the story. There's something deeper, something divine, that has unfolded in ways you can't yet understand. You need to pay attention now. What I'm about to share is crucial. It has the power to change your life and love forever. Don't miss this chance. If you do, you might miss the key to the connection you've been longing for. Stay with me. Within this message lies the secret to everything you've ever wanted to know about your soulmate and the love you were meant for. But remember, you must listen to the very end. There's something even more extraordinary about to be revealed. Trust this moment. Trust what the angels are telling you. Know that everything you're about to discover is aligned with your highest purpose and your soul's journey. This message is for you, and you are important. Open your heart and keep listening. Your destiny is closer than you think. Your soulmate had a night unlike any other. A night that left them breathless. They were lost in the intensity of what they believed was an unforgettable experience. In their heart, they felt something magical, something rare. It was as if the universe itself had planned every detail, every moment, leading them to believe they had finally found what their soul had been searching for. There was something intoxicating about it, the warmth, the passion, the undeniable connection. Everything seemed aligned, as though fate had woven together a perfect night. They felt seen, understood, and cherished for the first time in a long time. They allowed themselves to completely surrender, to embrace the moment with every fiber of their being. As the night went on, emotions ran deep. The words they shared held meaning. Their touch was electric, and the other person's presence felt almost destined. It wasn't just about the physical connection but something much deeper, something that stirred within them, awakening feelings they hadn't felt in ages. In that moment, they believed they were exactly where they were meant to be. And yet, beneath it all, something still felt incomplete, a whisper in their soul, a feeling they couldn't shake. No matter how perfect everything seemed, there was something missing, something they couldn't quite define. It was as if a part of them resisted fully surrendering, as if a quiet voice inside was trying to tell them something they weren't ready to hear. They dismissed it at first, telling themselves it was just their mind playing tricks. After all, everything about that night was so vivid, so intensely real. But as the hours passed, as the night deepened, the feeling grew stronger. A pull, an unseen force. Something within them was resisting, as if their very soul understood a truth that their heart hadn't yet acknowledged. And that is when the intervention happened. Because while your soulmate thought they had spent the most amazing night in someone else's arms, the truth was much greater, something the angels themselves had to step in and make sure they understood. But why? What was so important that the divine needed to intervene? You must listen carefully, because what happened next is the very reason you are receiving this message now. As the night ended and sleep came, something remarkable happened. Your soulmate, who went to bed believing their heart was fully invested in that night's experience, was suddenly transported to a realm beyond their understanding. In their dreams, something else happened. Something that changed everything. And that is where you come in. Because as their mind rested, Their soul awakened to a truth it could no longer deny. The love they thought they had found that night was only an illusion, a shadow of the greater truth. And in their dreams, it wasn't the person they had spent the evening with who lingered in their heart. It was you. Yes, while they thought they had shared a moment of intensity and passion with another, their soul drifted into the dream world, and it was your presence that took over everything. The warmth they felt, the love they longed for, the connection they desired, it wasn't with the one they had spent the night with. It was always with you. And this is where everything changes. Because when they woke up, the feelings they experienced were not for the person they had been with that evening. No matter how strong the connection may have seemed, no matter how much they had convinced themselves it was real, the moment they opened their eyes, only one face remained in their heart, yours. This is the truth they are beginning to realize, the revelation the angels made sure they could not ignore. What they thought was love was just a temporary moment, a fleeting illusion. Because real love, true spiritual deep connection, it's not something you can find just anywhere. It's something eternal, something divine, and it always leads back to you. But the question remains, now that the truth has been revealed, what happens next? Because your soulmate may have woken up feeling your presence. They may have realized something deep within their heart. But that doesn't mean they are ready to embrace it. Their soul knows the truth, but does their mind understand what has happened? Or are they still trying to convince themselves that what they thought was real was more than just a moment in time? There is still more you need to understand. This is only the beginning of what the angels have to reveal. What comes next is far more important than anything that has happened so far. And if you think the realization your soulmate had this morning is powerful, you have no idea what is about to unfold. Because there is one element that will make all the difference. One thing that will decide whether they follow the truth their soul is revealing, or if they allow themselves to remain trapped in an illusion. And this is something the angels need you to hear now, because your role in this isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. So stay with me. In the next part of this message, I will explain exactly what the angels want you to know about what happens next. And trust me when I say this, you cannot afford to miss it. Before we continue with this very special message, I invite you to support this space of connection. Become a member of the channel, and if you feel this message resonates with your heart, don't forget to click thanks below the video. This helps us continue to deliver messages filled with love and hope like this one. Now, let's continue with what is most important. Your soulmate went to sleep believing they had found something unforgettable, something rare, something that would mark their soul forever. They were sure that the connection they felt that night was meant to be something deep and true. And yet, the moment their mind drifted into sleep, something powerful happened, something far beyond their control. The angels intervened, because what your soulmate thought was real was only a small part of the truth. The universe had allowed them to experience that night, but not for the reasons they believed. It was never meant to be a confirmation of love or a moment to cherish forever. Instead, it was meant to reveal a bigger reality, one that their heart had been fighting against for too long. As they closed their eyes, the angels whispered to their soul. They guided them beyond the illusions of the material world and into a space where only truth exists. And in that realm, where the distractions of the mind lessen, the soul speaks louder than anything else. Everything became clear. Your soulmate didn't dream about the night they had just experienced. They didn't relive the passion, the words, the presence of the person they thought was meant for them. No, the moment they entered the dream world, they were no longer with that person. They were with you. It was your face they saw, your voice they heard, your touch they felt. The warmth, the connection, the energy that filled them, it was all because of you. And for the first time, without the noise of the world clouding their mind, without the distractions of logic trying to convince them otherwise, they finally saw the truth. The love they had been searching for had never been with anyone else. It had always been you. The realization was overwhelming. It shook them to their core. Because suddenly, the emotions they had felt throughout the night, the passion, the excitement, the feeling of being swept away, were now completely redirected. The intensity of what they thought had been real was now all about you. And there was no escaping it. The dream wasn't just a fleeting vision. It wasn't a random creation of the subconscious. It was a direct intervention from heaven, a moment of clarity that couldn't be ignored. Because in that dream, they experienced something they had never felt before, a sense of home. Everything fell into place in a way it never had before. The missing piece they had been searching for, the longing they had tried to satisfy, the restlessness they had carried within them for so long, it all vanished in that moment. Because in their dream, they were finally where they belonged, with you. But here is where things get even more important. Because when they woke up, reality hit them like a tidal wave. They were no longer in the dream. They were no longer in the place where everything made perfect sense. Instead, they found themselves back in their own world, in their own bed, surrounded by the same reality they had fallen asleep in. And yet, everything felt different now. Confusion struck first. They remembered the night they had just experienced, the laughter, the connection, the feeling that had surrounded them. But why then, was that not the first thought their heart turned to upon waking? Why was it that, instead of feeling warmth for the person they had spent the night with, their entire being craved you? The feelings were still there, but now they were misdirected. What they had thought was meant for another was now undeniably connected to you. It wasn't the person from that night who filled their heart upon waking. It was you. And this is where the real struggle begins. Because while their soul acknowledges the truth, their mind is struggling to understand. They are caught between what they think is real and what their heart is screaming at them to see. The angels are watching, because now more than ever, your soulmate stands at a crossroads. Will they listen to what their soul is telling them? Will they accept the truth that was given to them in their dreams? Or will they fight against it, trying to convince themselves that what they experienced that night was still what they desired? This is the moment where everything hangs in the balance. Because the dream wasn't just a dream. It was a message, a divine revelation. And now, your soulmate must make a choice. But what will they decide? And more importantly, what does this mean for you? Because while your soulmate is navigating this crossroads, there's something you need to understand. Your role in this is not passive. You are not just an observer, waiting to see what happens. The angels are guiding them, yes, but they are also guiding you. Because there is something that must happen now, something that can completely change everything. And in the next part of this message, I will reveal exactly what that is. You must not miss it, because if you do, you may never discover the truth that heaven has been waiting to reveal. This is your moment. This is your calling. And what happens next could change the course of your love forever. The night has ended. The moment that seemed so important, so intense, has faded. Your soulmate has fallen asleep, believing they just experienced something meaningful, something unforgettable. But the truth, the real truth, is only just beginning to emerge. Because while their body rested, their soul awakened to something far greater than they could have ever imagined. The moment they fell asleep, the angels intervened once more. They guided their spirit beyond the limits of time and space, beyond illusion, beyond what their mind thought was real. And as their consciousness drifted into the dream world, something extraordinary happened. The person they had been with that night vanished, as if they had never existed. And in their place, there you stood. Your soulmate found themselves in a place so familiar, so filled with warmth and love, that it felt like home. A place where they were no longer searching for something, because for the first time, they already had it. They recognized you, not as a fleeting thought, not as a vague memory, but as the only truth that mattered. You were there before them, as vivid and real as if they could reach out and touch you. And in that moment, something deep within them acknowledged you. It wasn't just a dream. It was a memory their soul had always kept, a knowing that had been hidden beneath the noise of the world, beneath the distractions of life, beneath the choices they had made to avoid what they had always known. Because you are not just someone they met in this lifetime. You are the one their soul has always recognized. And in that dream, they experienced feelings they had never felt before, not even during the passionate moments of the night they had just lived. They felt peace. They felt whole. They felt home. The way you looked at them, the way your energy surrounded them like the softest embrace, the way your presence gave them something so powerful, so undeniable, that they could no longer run from it. This was love, not temporary attraction, not a fleeting moment of passion that fades with time, but a love so timeless, so pure, that no force in the universe could break it. And then, something even more remarkable happened. They said your name. They didn't just see you. They didn't just feel you. They called for you, as if their soul had finally awakened from a long sleep and could no longer keep this truth hidden. And as they reached for you, as their hearts swelled with the certainty of what had always existed, they woke up. The dream had faded, but the feeling remained. And this is where everything changes. Because when their eyes opened, they weren't thinking about the night before. They weren't feeling the same excitement, the same rush that had carried them through those moments of passion. They were thinking about you. And this revelation washed over them like a wave, hitting them with a force so powerful they couldn't ignore it. Why, after everything, were you the one still on their mind? Why was it your face, your energy, your presence that filled their heart? Why did the dream feel more real than the night they had just experienced? The answer was obvious, but they weren't ready to accept it. Not yet. Because if they did, if they truly allowed themselves to see what had just happened, it would mean that everything they had believed before was a lie. And that is a scary reality to face. Because if their soul has been yours all along, if the love they've been searching for has always been you, then what does that mean for the life they've lived? What does it mean for the choices they've made? What does it mean for the person they were with that evening? The feelings they thought were real, the connection they thought was special. Now they are on the edge of a truth so big, so undeniable, that they don't know whether to embrace it or run away from it. And this is where the real challenge begins. Because now, your soulmate must confront what they can no longer ignore. The dream wasn't just a dream. It wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't their mind tricking them. It was the truth. A truth that can no longer be buried. A truth that the angels have made sure they cannot avoid. And now, a decision must be made. Will they listen to the guidance of their soul? Will they allow themselves to see what has been obvious all along? Or will they try to silence it, try to push it away, try to convince themselves that what they felt was nothing more than a dream? Because if they do, if they ignore this message, they may lose the one thing that was always meant to be theirs. You. And that is why the angels are reaching out to you now. Because this isn't just about what your soulmate feels. It's about the future. And in the next part of this message, I will explain exactly where this journey is leading. Because something even more powerful is about to be unveiled, and you cannot afford to miss it. Your twin flame has awakened, But everything feels different now. The night they thought was so important, so unforgettable, has faded into the background, replaced by something much stronger. A feeling they can't ignore. A reality they can't explain. Because while their mind tries to hold on to what they thought was true, their spirit is saying something completely different. Their heart is beating to a new rhythm, as if trying to remind them of something they've always known but were too afraid to face. No matter how much they try to rationalize, no matter how hard they try to convince themselves otherwise, they can't escape what the dream has revealed. The divine have spoken. And what they have shown your twin flame is not something that can simply be dismissed. Because this wasn't just a dream. It wasn't a brief moment of fantasy. It was a message from heaven. A sacred awakening. A call to consciousness that can't be ignored. And now, the most important question is, what comes next? Because knowing the truth is one thing. Accepting it is another. And your twin flame is now at a critical point, one that will decide everything. Will they accept what their spirit is telling them? Or will they allow fear, uncertainty, and the baggage of the past to keep them from embracing the love they were always meant to find? The divine have already shared what they needed to. They have shown your twin flame the truth, removed the illusions, and left them with one undeniable fact: you. And yet, despite this, despite the power of the dream, despite the clarity of their feelings, your twin flame is hesitating. Because opening their heart to you means letting go of everything they previously believed was real. It means admitting that they have been searching in the wrong places, that they have been chasing shadows, that they have been looking for love everywhere except where it has always existed, with you. And that realization is scary. Because love, true love, is frightening in its intensity. It is raw. It is all-consuming. It is something that requires surrender. And surrendering means trusting. It means letting go of fear, doubt, and the lies they have told themselves. It means choosing you completely. But are they ready for that? This is the internal struggle happening inside them right now. This is the conflict raging between their heart and mind, between what they have known and what they are only just beginning to understand. And this is where you come in. Because while your twin flame struggles with this new awareness, while they wrestle between accepting and resisting the truth, there's something the divine need you to do. You are not meant to simply sit back and wait. You are not meant to just hope that they will see what has already been shown to them. You are a part of this divine plan. Your energy, your presence, your belief in this connection, it all matters. Because what happens next is not just up to them. It is also up to you. And that is why the divine are sharing this message with you today. Because you need to know that this is not just about waiting for them to acknowledge the truth. This is about aligning yourself with the love that is meant for you. And that means something powerful. You must prepare for what lies ahead. Because whether your twin flame chooses to embrace this truth now or later, the outcome has already been decided. You are meant to be together. This love is destined. And nothing can change that. But your actions now will shape the path forward. And there is a crucial message that the divine need you to hear. Because while your twin flame struggles with this awakening, while they stand on the edge of realization, there is one thing that will determine how quickly they step into this love. And you need to understand what it is. Because without it, they may delay in seeing the truth. And you have already waited long enough. The divine are illuminating the way ahead. And in the next part of this message, I will explain exactly what you need to do to align yourself with the love that is already written in the stars. You cannot afford to miss this. Because the moment you understand what is next, everything will change. The moment of realization is upon us. Your twin flame may not fully get it yet, but something within them is changing. Aligning with the truth the divine have been revealing all along. They have spent too long searching in the wrong places, chasing illusions, believing that love was something they needed to find outside of themselves. But now, they can no longer ignore what their spirit is telling them. Because even as they awaken, even as they go through their day, as they try to focus on their routine and push away the overwhelming emotions that have taken hold of them, they feel you. It is no longer a passing thought, no longer a fleeting memory. It is an undeniable presence. They try to deny it. They try to tell themselves it's nothing, that it's just a lingering dream. But no matter what they do, you are there. Your image, your energy, your warmth. It's all around them, drawing them in, reminding them of something their heart has always known but their mind was too afraid to accept. Because the love they thought they had found that evening, it was never real. It was a lesson, but also a mirror, a test, a way for the universe to show them the difference between what is temporary and what is eternal. And now, with each passing moment, the truth becomes clearer. They don't miss the person they were with that night. They don't long for the connection they thought was so special. Because when they search their heart for what remains, for what truly matters, there is only one answer: you. This is the moment where their spirit begins to recognize the truth like never before. And yet, they are still afraid. Because acknowledging this love means surrendering to something bigger than themselves. It means admitting that no matter how hard they've tried to escape it, no matter how much they have tried to convince themselves it wasn't real, they cannot run from what was always meant to be. And the divine are guiding them now, nudging them, whispering in their ears, surrounding them with signs they cannot ignore. They hear your name in unexpected places. They see reminders of you in the smallest details. They feel emotions they can't explain, memories of you bubbling up at the most random times. And every time they try to dismiss it, every time they try to tell themselves it's just their mind playing tricks, the feeling only grows stronger. Because love like this doesn't fade. Love like this doesn't disappear. It lingers. It persists. It calls them back again and again, until they have no choice but to acknowledge it. And the divine are making sure they do. Because the time for waiting is over. The time for pretending, for denying, for ignoring the truth has come to an end. Your twin flame is being guided to you. Everything in the universe is conspiring to bring them back into your life, to make them see what has been right in front of them all along. But there is one last thing that must happen. Because while the divine are guiding them, while they are awakening to the truth, there is one final step that must be taken before they can finally reach you. And it is the most important one of all. Because if they don't take this step, if they allow fear to hold them back, if they hesitate for too long, then the journey to you could take much longer than it was ever meant to. And you have already been patient enough. So now, the divine's attention turns to you. Because there is something you must do, something that will not only help your twin flame find their way, but will also prepare you for when they finally arrive. And in the next part of this message, I will reveal exactly what that is. Because once you understand what comes next, everything will shift. The final step is about to be revealed. And you must not miss it. The divine have shown everything. Your twin flame has felt the shift, the undeniable pull, the awakening that has stirred something deep within them. They are standing on the edge of realization, feeling your presence in ways they never have before. The whispers of the divine have surrounded them, guiding them towards the truth they can no longer deny. They hear your name in unexpected places. They see reminders of you in the smallest details. They feel emotions they can't explain, memories of you bubbling up at the most random times. And every time they try to dismiss it, every time they try to tell themselves it's just their mind playing tricks, the feeling only grows stronger. Because love like this doesn't fade. Love like this doesn't disappear. It lingers. It persists. It calls them back again and again, until they have no choice but to acknowledge it. And the divine are making sure they do. Because the time for waiting is over. The time for pretending, for denying, for ignoring the truth, has come to an end. Your twin flame is being guided to you. Everything in the universe is conspiring to bring them back into your life, to make them see what has been right in front of them all along. But there is one last thing that must happen. Because while the divine are guiding them, while they are awakening to the truth, there is one final step that must be taken before they can finally reach you. And it is the most important one of all. Because if they don't take this step, if they allow fear to hold them back, if they hesitate for too long, then the journey to you could take much longer than it was ever meant to. And you have already been patient enough. So now, the divine's attention turns to you. Because there is something you must do. Something that will not only help your twin flame find their way, but will also prepare you for when they finally arrive. And in the next part of this message, I will reveal exactly what that is. Because once you understand what comes next, everything will shift. The final step is about to be revealed. And you must not miss it. The divine are asking you now to step fully into your power, to align with your true essence, the version of yourself that is already ready to receive this love. You must believe in the connection you share with your twin flame. This is not just a fleeting connection. This is the kind of love that is eternal. But in order for that love to fully manifest, you need to make sure you are prepared for it. Let go of the doubts that have held you back. Release the fears that have kept you stuck. And surrender fully to the love that is already on its way to you. When you allow yourself to align with the energy of love, you send out a signal to the universe that you are ready. Your twin flame is already on their way, but the energy you project will be the magnet that pulls them toward you even faster. It's time to trust that this love is meant for you. It's time to embrace it with everything you have. The divine have laid the path before you, and now you must walk it with confidence and faith. Trust that the timing is perfect. Trust that your twin flame is awakening to the truth that they have always known. And as they do, your connection will grow stronger, and your love will shine brighter than ever before. In the moments of silence, know that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even if it feels like the wait has been long. Trust that the universe has been working behind the scenes. The love you've been waiting for is coming. And when it arrives, it will be everything you ever dreamed of, and more. You are already worthy of this love. Your twin flame is awakening to the realization that you are the one they were meant to be with. And as they take the final steps toward embracing this truth, you must also step into the fullness of who you are. Become the person who is already living in the love you desire. Live with confidence, with purpose, and with an open heart. Because the divine are not just bringing your twin flame to you. They are bringing you to the highest version of yourself. This love will expand you. It will elevate you. And it will show you a world full of possibilities. You are on the brink of a transformation, and it is happening now. Trust that the divine plan is working in your favor. Know that you are being supported every step of the way. Your twin flame is on their way to you. And everything in your life is aligning to bring you both together. The love you've been waiting for is closer than ever. But remember, you must be ready. Not just for them, but for the life you are about to create together. So step into your power. Step into your purpose. And know that the journey you've been on has all been leading you to this moment. The universe is conspiring in your favor. The divine are guiding your path. And now, the love you've always desired is finally within reach. Your twin flame is coming. And nothing can stop the powerful reunion that is about to unfold. Trust in the process. Trust that everything is falling into place. And get ready for a love that will change your life forever. You are about to receive the gift of a lifetime. The signs of the times are becoming increasingly evident that the sacred Trinity, body, mind, and spirit, represented by the number 333, strengthens your faith and illuminates your path. Amen and amen.